What's up, everybody? Welcome to PTP. Today we are going to cover the Honda Classic, and then we are going to make our picks for the Puntacana Championship and obviously the WGC. Stay tuned.
Check it out.
What's going on, Tommy? Welcome to COVID version PTP. I'm in quarantine. I'm not sick, but just being safe. I was around somebody who is. So, here we are, a little bit of Zoom action, StreamYard doing our thing.
Yeah, I'll head to the store after this. I'm good. So.
Uh-oh. I'm ringing. Hold on.
So, yeah, guys, we're looking at looking at the match play, Dell match play this week.
Yep.
Awesome lines up with March Madness. So if your bracket's already busted, mine's holding in there all right. But if yours is already busted, we got a whole new bracket for you to bet on this week. So we're gonna get into it.
Well, I've got some bracket busters here for you today as well when it comes to the WGC. So we'll get into that here shortly. First, let's pay some bills. A big shout out to our sponsor, XL Media. They are kindly taking over the sponsorship of the show and all of the Painted Lines. Second thank you is to the Painted Lines, Golf Etc., our normal host when I'm not stuck in quarantine, and couple other things that we'll hit as we go through. We've got a commercial we're going to run through for XL Media and BetRivers. We'll flash that up here shortly. What's up, Crashed? How's it going, man? We're getting ready to get into the Honda Classic here. Your thoughts, Tommy, on the Honda Classic?
First and foremost, the reason Golf Etc. as of today is officially not a thing. We got the sign in. It's being hung up right now. The whole idea behind this podcast with Pull the Pin was that the store name would be changing to Pull the Pin. And so now we'll not only be doing the podcast out of the store, but the store itself is now going forward, Pull the Pin. We're very excited. Sign is in now. Our whole new website, which is, I believe, a huge improvement over our current setup, should be going up this weekend. Our social media will be changing over here later today even. So keep an eye out for that. We haven't gone anywhere. We're just starting a new era, new and improved, and very, very excited.
Congratulations, Tommy. That's awesome, man. I'm happy for you. Happy to be any little piece, part, or whatever I can be of it. But we're happy for you. I'm going to get over there today, hopefully, and throw the drone up and get some pictures of that sign. So I took Matt Jones last week, man. That's 5 straight weeks we've had the winner in our podcast. It's kind of nuts. I'm pretty happy about it. Where do you?
Well,
how did you feel?
I wasn't feeling so hot. I mean, there was a couple of reasons. I was slammed last week, so I didn't get any bets in. But I did get a chance to hit up blackjack table this weekend, so I made it up. I made it up there, thankfully. But so I'm going to count that as a plus for the store or for the show. But, man, it's just another example of, Ty's research, guys, is just unreal. It's so thorough. For him to pull that guy out of his ass and pull out a 5th straight winner, I ask Ty now every week before he puts his bets in or after he puts his bets in, so I'll put a few of my own in and take some of his research. Now, was Matt Jones, was he in the stats that translate last week?
I don't have him in front of me, but I believe he was. I don't think I would have just pulled his name out without some of those stats that translate. But I've liked him the last couple of weeks. I've thrown a couple bucks on him here and there just in case because he's been playing pretty well. He's always kind of in the hunt. And I thought this was kind of a perfect tournament for him to really take off. And it was interesting. Like we talked about it last week, it was kind of a C+ field. It wasn't a great field, so it was going to be a hard betting field. So this model that we use works perfectly for that type of field. I'm curious to see how our model works with the match play because the match play is super unpredictable. But
I have my thoughts on that. I was thinking about this so I just drove in from Pittsburgh, guys. So I'm out of my house instead of out of the store today. But I was thinking about this on the way in, and we'll touch on it later. But I have my own theory on who the guys are that you want to be picking this week. So
same here. I have a segment that I'm going to call Lion Slayers today.
Okay.
They're bracket busters, guys that their names. It's nobody that you're going to be like, oh, who the heck's that? But it's just a different outlook as far as the match play goes. Let's run this commercial quick for BetRivers and pay some bills, and then when we get back, we're going to jump right into the WGC, and we're going to tell you all about who to take this week in the WGC, make some money, bring home that cash, and do it this way.
Hey, what's up, guys? March Madness is here. The NBA and NHL are both in full swing. Baseball opening day is coming up, while we here at the Painted Lines are devoted to bringing you top-notch content from all the major sports. We are excited to also now give you the opportunity to cash in on all that content and knowledge. If you follow the link below, you will have the opportunity to sign up with BetRivers, an online sportsbook, and get an instant new user deposit match of up to $250. That's free money that you can use and try to turn into more free money. Let's go. Don't sit there and waste all that money. Turn every basket into an otherwise meaningless Cavs-Timberwolves matchup on a random Wednesday in March. That makes it all the more exciting. For betting tips and advice, be sure to check out written content from our top prognosticator, Money Max, on our website at thepaintedlines.com, or check out the Tough Cover podcast right here on the Painted Lines YouTube channel. You've seen the commercials all over TV and radio, but now is the time. Sign up today with BetRivers using the link below and start cashing in on your love for sports. Using the link below will automatically inform BetRivers that TPL sent you, and you'll get that new user deposit match of up to $250. Don't miss out on this opportunity for some free money, baby.
All right, so that's our new sponsorship. That's awesome. BetRivers. Get on it. I just moved all my money over from DraftKings yesterday, so I'm pretty hyped about that. Pretty hyped to jump into somewhere new. All right, let's jump into this Dell Technologies match. WGC. What's up?
You know what else is free money? Following our system.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. It paid off for me to about $550 this week, so I'm pretty hyped about that. WGC match play, 64 players, par 72, short track, 7,000 yards in Austin. That's going to have to do with some of my Lion Slayers being in Austin. It wasn't. They didn't have one last year because of COVID. In 2019, Kiz won it. Our boy Kevin Kisner, we love Kiz. He's that type of guy that I love in a situation like this. He is a great one-on-one guy, I believe. He is that guy that I think you could probably say is out there getting in guys' heads, loves that type of one-on-one competition. He's going to thrive in a situation where bad hole. So I like him to be in the hunt again this year, even though we don't always like past winners.
Yeah.
He's also played pretty solid at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I mean, on the ride home, I was thinking about that. I knew he had done well in the past. I think he has a second and a win in this.
He does. In 2018, he was second. Last year, in 2019, he won it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking through right now on PGA app. I haven't gone over the new app yet, so that's on me for our gambling purposes. But I don't know if you can bet on group winners or if it's just the outright winner. I know on.
I'm a little late on that one as well for the BetRivers. I know you can on DraftKings. You can bet on just about everything.
Okay, cool. But for me, you're looking for, there's two things I think that translate without getting into the stats that translate. This might already be one of them. Is there's multiple drivable par fours and very gettable par fives on this course. So,
well, it's 7,000 yards. Yeah.
Yeah, but your bombers are going to have an extra advantage. Like, I believe it's 13 where you have to drive over the water. Somebody like Rory could be hitting in 3-wood versus another guy might not have the distance to get there in 1 and have to hit an iron over to the right, So things like that are definitely going to come into play if your longer guys could take advantage of it.
See,
I hate to say Bryson, but Bryson could drive 13. He could bomb a driver on 18 and maybe get home.
I look at it from a different perspective, man. I'm kind of looking at it because it's match play.
Yeah.
You pick your spots. So, like, okay, you're going to bomb it on that hole. I'm just going to gouge you on a hole that it doesn't matter how long you are.
Sure.
So I don't.
I'm not saying that's going to be the ultimate factor, but if it, in a match where if you could keep the pressure on, speaking from personal experience in match play, if you can put the pressure on and hit the green and under regulation, you're forcing, especially if a guy like DeChambeau tees off first on 13, he puts 3-wood on, maybe the guy who didn't want to have to drive the green is like, well, now I have to. He's uncomfortable. He hits it in the water. It's a free hole, so that's something to keep in mind. I'm not saying DeChambeau, but it's maybe your guys who are both long and accurate off the tee. That sounds like such an obvious thing, but they're going to have an extra advantage on some of these drivable holes.
I'm with you there. I can get with that. Let's talk a little bit of just tournament info. Koepka, no Koepka again. He's the top 11 players in the world are all there.
He has had knee surgery.
Exactly. So no Koepka again. Obviously no Tiger Woods. I don't even know why I'm saying that. It was just on a bunch of the stuff I was reading. I thought, come on, guys, it's pretty obvious. There's just not a lot of commonality in the good performers in this tournament over the years. Kevin Kisner is the only name that pops up more than once. Everybody else, it kind of jumps back and forth with, which makes it a fun tournament to watch, but it also makes it an incredibly difficult tournament to pick. So I'm going to do things a little differently than I normally do. Before I start running into names, I'm going to talk about the stats that translate, because the stats that translate are tough for a tournament like this. So the first stat that translate is par efficiency from 350 and 400 yards over the last 50 rounds. Okay, so guys that dominate those par fours efficiency from 350 to 400. Number 1 is Patrick Cantlay. Number 2 is Paul Casey. Number 3 is Kisner. Number 4 is Rahm. Number 5 is Lowry. Number 6 is DJ. You can put money on every one of those guys in this tournament and feel good about it. Yeah. Every one of them. The other stat that I have is strokes gained ball striking last 12 rounds. Now, these guys, I don't necessarily feel the same way about putting money on them, but I probably will. I'll probably put money on every one of these guys just because of the format. You've got Siwoo Kim at the front, JT second, Corey Connors third, Abraham Answer fourth, Paul Casey once again, so he's on both lists, Jason Day, Rory McIlroy, and Sergio Garcia. What do we got here? We got a comment. New to the show, looking at Joaquin Niemann versus Bazooka Hout in Group 7, and I like Connors versus Wolf in Group 15. Love Connors over Wolf. Matt Wolf is a shamble right now. He hasn't played in a couple of weeks. The last couple of times out, I have not been impressed. And I take Niemann in that first round. Niemann's just we've been talking about it on the show every week. You haven't been here, but we believe this is the year of Niemann. We think he's going to have a pretty big year. He seems to be in the hunt. I was really open for a better performance, but kind of short. Tommy, you want to throw it on that?
Yeah, I mean Niemann. I mean for me, last time we saw Matt Wolf was 81 WD for his last 2 rounds. So I mean, and nothing good beforehand. So definitely Connors. I would if you're looking to. I'm sure he's the favorite, but I would put a good amount of money on that. And Niemann, like we said, we've been riding Niemann all year with some cash, so definitely have no problem. I'm trying to see who else is in his group. I mean, in that individual match, I'm definitely down with that. I actually don't like Niemann to get out of his group, though.
No, I was looking at the groups today. I don't care for it either, but
I don't see why Patrick Reed doesn't get out of that group. But Bubba has done well in the past in this, but I would be riding Patrick to win that group. But Connors could definitely very easily win his group.
He's been playing so well that I like Connors a lot. I really do.
Spieth's been playing better, but inconsistent. So I think he can beat him. And Fitzpatrick has been playing well lately, but there's no reason Corey Connors couldn't go out and win that whole group.
Right.
And here's my thought, Ty, and I think you'd agree with me. Is I think you have to look at this. Obviously, it's a different tournament, but I don't look at the normal names that you consider your guys to win,
Nope,
and just be like they're going to win, because anything could happen. They lose one match and they're out. I'm looking at the guys that we consistently bet on for top 10 and top 20 and cash out on every week.
Yep.
And those are the guys I'm betting on to win. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to take Tony Finau to win this week.
Okay, I like it. So
I know that's
round robin. So, like, because it's going to be more of a round robin type of tournament, they think that the cream's going to rise to the top a little more from the research I've done. So, I mean, I love the Tony Finau pick.
He's not as strong, Jason. I mean, he isn't as strong, but not overly strong. I mean, Fratelli is the last guy in. Will Zalatoris has played well, and he's another guy that we've made money on consistently for top 20s. But and Jason Kokrak is there too. But Tony Finau has consistently been in the top 10, and you need guys who can grind too. Like. What I love about match play personally is you could make an 8 or a 10 or a 12 on a hole, and it doesn't matter. You've lost one hole. You're down one. Whether you parred and he birdied, or he birdied and you made a 17, you lost one hole.
Yep.
So I look for those guys who grind out rounds, who hit a lot of greens and the best advice I ever got in match play is aim at the center of the green in all 18 holes. Because if you 18 greens and 2 putt for par, now obviously these are the best players in the world, so that won't work. But if you hit the center of the green 2 putt for par 18 times, you're going to win almost any amateur match you play in. So I'm looking at guys who hit a lot of greens, and on top of that are just grinders who never are out of holes or they never quit.
So I thought we'd just run down the groups here and talk about who we like in that group. And then I would go through the Lion Slayers list that I have put together. The one thing I think about match play that makes it different than a normal tournament is there are different guys. There are guys who get into that, I'm the only guy on the course and I'm playing my game. And you can't do that in match play because you can't forget about the guy you're playing with. So, like they used to talk about Tiger, it was like nobody else was there except Tiger when he was dominating. You can't do that in match play. And there are certain guys who are just better at that than other guys. There are certain guys that, like you said, are grinders that, okay, I got a 12, whatever. I'm going to go birdie the next hole because that doesn't matter. I just lost that hole.
And all of a sudden you're even again. So, yeah. Exactly.
So I think it does kind of point that out. So let's go through these groups. Group 1, Dustin Johnson, Kevin Na, Robert McIntyre, and Adam Long. Dude, I know DJ is the number 1 player in the world, and I know he's going to play well. I have no problem whatsoever putting money on Robert McIntyre or Kevin Na to come out of this group on a 7,000-yard course when you have Kevin Na, who's just, if the putter gets hot, it's crazy. And Robert McIntyre is a gritty Walker Cup player that has played match play and grew up playing sticky over in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, Robert McIntyre is an interesting pick. I do love Robert McIntyre, but I'm not taking him this week. He hasn't shown me anything yet on U.S. soil that has impressed me enough. But
I haven't taken him yet. I like him this week because of the format.
Yeah, flip side of that coin, growing up in Europe, they grow up playing so many more match play events than you do in U.S. Yep. And so, there's that. But I just haven't seen enough out of him on U.S. soil yet to be like, yeah, he's going to beat Dustin Johnson. Kevin, I agree.
Have him in the first round. So Johnson has Long in the first round, and then it's Na against McIntyre. So it's one or the other that comes out and plays DJ. And I like either of them against DJ. I really do. Not that I'm taking anything away from the world number 1, but you're going to have amazing odds just to get out of one round. Just to get out of your group, you're going to have amazing odds. So a dollar bet.
They all play each other. They all play each other once, right? And the best record gets out, correct?
Yes. But it's not how it starts. Like the first round. What I'm saying is the first round they'll see who, they get a lay of the land. I like it a lot.
Yeah, unless they have, and that would probably be the worst case scenario for both of them. But
right. So I mean, Wednesday is Johnson Long, Nah McIntyre. Thursday is Johnson McIntyre, Nah Long. And I don't know, man. I like Nah or McIntyre to come in.
You've been riding Nah since he made you a lot of money, so I think maybe a little bit of a homer bet there for you.
Hey, man, it is what it is. All right, Group 2, we've got Justin Thomas, Louis Oosthuizen, Kevin Kisner, Matt Kuchar. 3 of the guys in this group, I think, are 3 of the best guys in this tournament for this format. So this is a group for me that I'm afraid to touch. I love Kiz in this format. He apparently loves the format, has been really, really successful here. 1 in 19, second in 2018. Louis Oosthuizen, this is a WGC event. He plays well. And Justin Thomas coming off that win at the Players. Matt Kuchar does not factor in for me in this, to be perfectly honest. Uh-oh. Are you frozen over there, big boy? I think I may have lost Tommy. So if you're looking at Group 2 here, I think that Justin Thomas is obviously the front runner. He plays Kuchar first on Wednesday. Oosthuizen and Kisner play each other on Wednesday. Thursday is Thomas and Kisner, Oosthuizen and Kuchar. I really like – I love Justin Thomas. I think he's the best player in the world. So, yeah, R.I.P. Tommy is right. So I would definitely – I'd be looking at Justin Thomas in this group or Kevin Kisner. I think that those are the 2 that come out. I'm going to put money on both of them the way I do my system. We got a couple comments here. R.I.P. Tommy. Hopefully he's back soon. Love his input. And we've got, granted, I know these golfers compete hard each tournament, but got to expect some pressure on these guys ranked outside the top 50 to make the Masters this year. That's a great point, a really great point. You've got guys playing, in this that really need to move up in the rankings to find their way onto that, into that top 50. There's not a whole lot of guys out of the top 50 in this group with only 64 players in the group. So there is some pressure on those guys. Back to Group 2, Kisner or Thomas, money on both of them. I like them both. Group 3, we've got John Rahm, Ryan Palmer, Shane Lowry, Sebastian Munoz. Rahm just doesn't impress me. I have not seen enough grit from him. He just seems to be a little too ill-tempered for this type of tournament. Match play, you've got to be able to erase a bad hole like that and jump to the next one. That doesn't seem to work for him. Ryan Palmer has played really well this year so far, and so has Shane Lowry. In fact, I was hoping Shane Lowry could just pull it together a little bit more yesterday. I would have made a little bit more money. We would have jacked up some money there. Apparently Tommy can't get back in. Give me a second. I'm going to invite my boy in here. Where is he in now? Oh, there he is. So
nope,
I like
back.
I see that. We got an RIP Tommy in here. Check this out.
I know, I saw that. We also got another comment talking about guys.
Do you want to put your intake on there?
I think this is a great opportunity for a lot of those guys. It's a very.
We're losing you like crazy, man. I think Tommy's gone again. Yeah, he's got some Wi-Fi issues going on over there, it looks like. So in Group 3, I like Lowry and Palmer to come out of that group. We head down to Group 4. We've got Colin Morikawa, Billy Horschel, Max Homa, JT Poston. That's kind of a hit or miss group. I like Max Homa in a match play situation a lot. I think that he can he can play match play with the best of them. Colin Morikawa, just such a good ball striker. So we're gonna have two Tommies in here.
There we go. I don't know if you lost there, but I was saying that for someone who's desperate enough, this is a great format. Take one guy on at a time, one match at a time. Not have to worry about a blow up hole. Just you compress the issue a little bit, put pressure on the other guy, and this could be a great opportunity. But at the same time, I believe all of these. Well, I guess there's only 14 of these guys outside of the top 50. So one of those guys can get out of their group. That might be. I don't. Depending on if they could get even into the semifinals or something, that might be enough points to bump them up. Tommy had his router hit with a golf ball.
All right, we're up to Group 4. I like Homa and Morikawa in that group. Horschel's been playing good golf. The guy just bothers me. I don't like him sneaking up on all those putts. The ball needs to know he's coming. Group 5.
100% chance he sneaks up on a ball this week.
Yeah, if that's a bet, make that bet.
Colin Morikawa. So just to throw it in there, Group 2, I'm taking Louis for, I think, right before you pass out a lot of the reasons you said. If he shows up to the tournament, it's because he thinks he can win. And my guy, Ryan Palmer, out of Group 3.
Yep, I had Palmer as well. I've been taking 2 in each group to put money on. So Group 5, I like, you've got DeChambeau, Fleetwood, Kim, and Rosner. Siwoo Kim played really well 2 weeks ago. He is also on my stats that translate. But in this group, I'd probably go Fleetwood and DeChambeau, the top 2 in that group that I put money on.
DeChambeau many times. DeChambeau, Siwoo, and Bryson for me. Fleetwood just burns me too many times, man.
I'm going with that European thing this week with the match play. I think they play more match play over there. They really do. It's just a different, Group 6, Xander Schauffele, Scotty Scheffler, Jason Day, Andy Sullivan. Scotty Scheffler to win this tournament. Scotty Scheffler to win this tournament. Scotty Scheffler, University of Texas Longhorn, playing in Austin, grittiest guy on tour. If you watch the Waste Management Open when he was playing and he was in the depths of hell a couple of times, somehow pulled himself out of it. Scotty Scheffler to break through and win this tournament in fun fashion.
I love myself some Scotty Scheffler, but I think he might be an early bounce just like those Longhorns in the bracket. I get Jason Day making at least to the Final 4 of this tournament.
I don't mind that pick. He's been playing much better golf. All right, so we can agree.
He, as of right now, is my Masters pick to win. So
you need to say Christian's last name in this next group because I always butcher the hell out of it. Patrick Reed, Joaquin Niemann, Christian.
I'm looking for the group here. 7.
Yeah.
In Group 7.
Bezen Dunhout.
Poison Hout.
And Bubba Watson. You love Reed in this group. I don't know how you don't. Reed is that guy. He doesn't give a crap what's going on around him. He's going to play well, and he's going to grind on you. Probably going to find a way to cheat, too. If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
He's a perfect personality for this event. Yeah. And as much as I like Neiman, and we had a comment earlier about him playing Boysenhout, like I like that as like an individual. Neiman doesn't strike me as a guy who would prosper in this format.
No, I agree.
He's the kind of guy that could go out and shoot a 63, but if you shoot 63, 72, 72 in this event, you won one match and lost 2. So,
we move on to Group 8. We've got. How does this happen? How do you end up with 3 Brits in one group? Hatton, Westwood, Garcia, Wallace. That's a tough group to pick right there. All 3 of those guys are match play guys. All 3.
Well, right there too. One of the best Ryder Cup players.
Sorry, I meant to say all 4 of them are match play guys.
I
misspoke. I like Sergio out of that group, to be perfectly honest.
Agreed.
I think just he's got that mindset. He knows how to play match play.
Yep.
Group 9, Webb Simpson, Paul Casey, Mackenzie Hughes, and Taylor Gooch. So I really like Paul Casey this week just because of the stats that translate. I think that he has been playing well. He's on an upswing as far as his game goes. He played well at the Masters, struggled a bit, and then came back and played well on Sunday. Taylor Gooch burned me terribly this week. I still made good money this week, but Taylor Gooch hurt me bad. I really liked him a lot this week. Webb Simpson's another guy. If you're taking two guys from each group, I'm taking Webb and Paul and putting money on them. Simpson and Casey are my two guys in Group 9.
I got Paul out of that group. Just sticking with that philosophy I'm talking about earlier. Just guys who have consistently played well and consistently finished. Like, I like Paul out of that group.
Give me 1 second. Carry me for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, we're in Group 9 now. I mean,
No, we're in Group 10.
We're going into Group 10 here.
Yeah, we got Cantley, Matsuyama, Ortiz, and Harmon. Carlos Ortiz.
Yeah, he hasn't done as much lately, though.
No, he hasn't.
Hideki is garbage. I think it comes down to Cantley and Harmon in this group.
I like Harmon a lot, man. I like Harmon a lot.
Finish. But again, Patrick Cantley's that guy who just doesn't ever do anything but other than at the Players. He let me down at the Players, so there's that.
I like Brian Harmon in this group. I'll throw a flyer on Carlos Ortiz because the money will be right. And then I really like Brian Harmon in this group. He played great at the Players.
Yeah.
He's not super long, but neither is this course. I like Brian Harmon.
I like Harmon out of this group. I'm going bold. I'm going Harmon out of this group. I'm only taking one person in each group, and I'm sticking to it. I'm taking Harmon.
I make 60 bets a week. Like that's the formula. The more bets you make, the more chance.
I have to go on the river, see if they'll let me take just flight winners.
Yeah.
Or group winners, because I want to make 16 bets on group winners and then bet on like 4 of them out of those 16 to win. That's my goal this week. But
so Group 11, Rory McIlroy, Cameron Smith, Lanto Griffin, Ian Poulter. Cameron Smith comes out of that. Rory has not played the way Rory can play. Sounds like he's not real sure of himself because he tried to add some distance after watching Bryson at the U.S. Open. I hope he proves me wrong. I like Rory McIlroy, but I like Cam Smith coming out of this. He's been playing well, consistent, and I like him as a match play player. Ian Poulter is always
dangerous. That's what I was going to say. It's
dangerous in match play type situations as well.
I'm taking the only guy we didn't mention. I'm going Lanto Griffin.
He burned me.
Yep, but he's been playing consistently good golf. Another guy who constantly gets in the top 10, top 20.
Yep.
And Cameron Smith, it just scares. He's the same reason. He's burned me a little bit. Rory is looking bad. Ian Poulter, though, he's a great match play player. Hasn't done anything lately. I'm going with the guy who's been maybe arguably most consistent in that group, and that's Lanto Griffin.
All right. Group 12, Tony Finau, Jason Kokrak, Will Zalatoris, Dylan Fratelli. I'm taking Zalatoris out of this group. I know you already talked about Finau. Zalatoris, since the start of the 2020 season, he has 15 top 10s between the PGA and the Corn Ferry Tour. And in 2014, he was the U.S. Junior Champ, which is a match play event. It shows he knows how to play match play. I don't think that Finau can finish. Zalatoris is my guy out of this group, and I'd probably throw some money on Kokrak too over Finau.
Those are great stats any other week, but I have a better stat, and that's that 5 of the last 6 tournaments Tony Finau's played in, and he's been in the top 5, and that's a little more impressive.
He also hasn't played in 2 weeks.
But I'm just saying he's been just as consistent in finishing higher.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, this is the round robin portion. This is round 1 and 2, and we know that's where he thrives. So,
yep. All right. Yeah. I don't dislike that pick at all. I've got a feeling about our boy Will Zalatoris this week. Group 13, Victor Hovland, Abraham Answer, Bernard Weisberger, and Kevin Streelman.
This is the worst group in the tournament.
I think Hovland an answer here. Weisberger and Streelman will end up making me look stupid probably, but I like Hovland and answer. I even have answer written down somewhere else for some other reason. I forget what it was. I don't know. Not
really. Answer hasn't done much for me. Answer hasn't done much for me lately. I took him to win a few 4 or 5 weeks ago. He couldn't even show up. I'm going Kevin Streelman.
Okay.
Hovland's also been, as hot as he was, has cooled down very quickly. And so I'm going Streelman.
All right, so Group 14, Daniel Berger, Harris English, Brendan Todd, Eric Van Rooyen. For me, I like Brendan Todd. He hits the ball well. Harris English is a good player. I don't think he factors this week, though. Daniel Berger and Brendan Todd would be the two I like in that group. Van Rooyen, though, he's a guy that might play well in this format.
Mm-hmm. I think Berger gets out of this one pretty easily.
Yeah. Group 15, Matt Fitzpatrick, Matthew Wolff, Corey Connors, Jordan Spieth. Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, I love this event for Jordan Spieth. Like, we're talking about a guy who makes a lot of birdies and he makes a lot of bogeys. And bogeys don't matter as long as you make more birdies in match play.
That's true.
So, and it's also in Austin, right near where he went to college. Just another guy who's familiar with the course, a Texas guy playing in Texas. So there's just a thought for me. But I like some other names in this group. I like Corey Connors a lot. He's played well lately. And Matt Fitzpatrick, as much as I don't care for him, this is also an event that sets up pretty nicely for him. But Jordan Spieth and Connors are the guys I'd take out of this group.
Spieth is just so inconsistent, and it's so hard. He does have that X factor, but like he has
three top scores in his last 5 starts.
Yeah, I know, but he could just like what's so great about him in his events, he could just hole out at any point, just for no apparent reason. Could just like hole a bunker shot or like he just does stuff like that. That like in match play, like he could steal a hole from a guy, man. Like there's nothing more frustrating or momentum switching than when you're like, oh, I hit the green and he missed it, and I'm probably gonna at worst tie this hole, and all of a sudden he chips in and you miss the birdie putt, and you're like, you thought you were up 1, now you're down 1, and then he birdies the next hole, and then you're like,
that's why I love him. That's why I love him in this tournament.
All that being said, I'm taking Corey Connors.
All right, Group 16, Sanjay M, Victor Perez, Mark Leishman, Russell Henley. Sanjay played well last week. He's just
my previous statement back. This is the worst group in the tournament.
Sanjay M just super consistent over the last year. I like him a lot out of that group. Mark Leishman's a good player. Mark Leishman will put some.
He's done well in this tournament too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, another European. Or he's Australian. I'm sorry.
Australian.
But still, another guy not from the United States that plays more match play. Like Sanjay M or Mark Leishman out of this group. So
Sanjay's been like as good as his last year has been. Like his last 3 months haven't been overly impressive. So
he played well last week. I mean, he ended up in the top 20, made me some money in the top 20.
Yeah, but like that's been his best finish in a while. So for that reason, I'm going Leishman. But
all right, so gave you my top 2 out of each group, which means that I believe all. So what's 16 times 2? That'd be 32. All 32 of the names I gave you, I would put money on to win. That is how my model works. That's how I do it. That would be 32 bets, not necessarily only 32 bets, but they're not big value bets, guys. I bet like $2, $3. And at the end of the day, it usually pays all right. I ended up with Matt Jones for top 10, top 5, and to win. I had M was in the top 20. I had somebody else in the top 10, and their name is just eluding me right now. I had Vajegas in the top 20 as well, which was a nice pick. That actually paid pretty well. $2 bet to pay $30. I mean, that's what you're looking at with these bets. Obviously, this is not an easy tournament to pick. We already kind of went through all of these players, but my Lion Slayers this week, I love Scheffler. I know you didn't agree with me, but I love him. He's been a good match play player in his life. He beat Aaron Wise in the NCAA 2016. He won the junior in 2013. All match play events that he's had success in. Spieth is another guy, not really a Lion Slayer, but a guy that I like a lot this week. He could be one of the Lions trying to be slayed, I guess, depending on who you're talking to. Will Zalatoris, already read the stats on him that I like a lot. Kisner, defending champ and reached the final the year before. I just think there's some guys that are grinders in this type of event.
They're built that way, man.
What's that?
They're definitely built that way. There's no doubt about it.
Right. And then I like Robert McIntyre. We talked about that a little bit. Gritty Walker Cup player. Hasn't done much on American soil. Maybe this is an opportunity for him to do something on American soil. That's where I'm sitting right now. The chalk picks, obviously, JT, DeChambeau, all those guys, they're all in play. Don't be afraid to throw money on them either. But this is a tough one to pick because it's a round robin event. It's a match play event. Your guy gets knocked out. It's not even like not making the cut. So.
Yeah, I mean the only problem is it depends on who. Like, here's where I get the problem with our formula that's been working so well is like on an unnamed gambling site that we were using in the past, it only gives you the option to pick the overall winner.
Right.
So you make 32 bets, even if you hit a big one, you're probably not profiting that much. And if you hit a one that you would be expected, you might still be negative. So I'd have to see. I'd be more interested in this week in picking flight winners than I would be picking an overall, like too many overall winners. I would pick, if I'm everyone, I would pick 16, one guy from each flight you think is going to win. And from those 16, pick 4 that you think have a chance to win the overall. That's just me. It just depends on what site you use, because it's a hard one to put. There's no top 5, top 10, top 20 bets this week, so it's like
you're not just betting on sites though. I mean, hopefully some of the people that are watching us actually bet for real at a sports betting site or a sports bookie, which you can bet whatever you want then.
Right.
I do want to jump to the Puntacana Championship real quick because I accidentally did a bunch of research on this by accident. I was like, it's been a rough week. So Puntacana Championship, par 72, 7,600 yards. I'm just going to throw 9 names out that I like if you want to throw money on them. I'm not going to give you any reason why. If you don't trust me by now, screw you.
It's fair. Fair enough.
Okay.
Tell them how it is.
Charlie Hoffman, he's been playing well, plays well in wind, and should be okay there. Emiliano Grillo, Thomas Peters, Tyler McCumber, Chase Seifert, Taylor Pendrich, Patrick Rogers, Scott Harrington, and Kelly Craft. He is 2 for 2 at the Puntacana in top 15 finishes. That's the only stat I'm giving you on the Puntacana because I'm mad that I did all the homework I did and realized that I totally biffed that the WGC was this week and not next week.
You gone fucked up, Ron.
Yeah, I did. I want to do our normal shout outs here. Puppies and Golf, donate, really cool cause. Amanda Balionis, local person that's now doing great things. My Whoop is still up and running strong. I'm down a bunch of pounds. I'm looking good, feeling good. Birdie Wrap, get it. It is awesome. They have it at Pull the Pin. Go into Pull the Pin and buy your Birdie Wrap. And use it when you have cuts and stuff on your hands. And last but not least, another thank you to the Painted Lines for having us. A shout out to our sponsor, XL Media. Guys, go make some bets. Make some money. Hit us up.
Reminder. This week starts on Wednesday, not Thursday.
Yes, that's a great reminder. Thank you. Go in to Pull the Pin for all of your golf needs. Make sure to get fitted and dress like a golfer, play like a golfer, be like a golfer. You can follow them on at ETC Lank on Instagram. That's changing.
Different by next week. We'll see. But as of right now, yeah. Be sure to check us out on all of our social media right now is still Golf Etc. of Lancaster. If you search that and it's not there, we've made the change to pull the pin. Be sure to find us there. So if you can't find us on Golf ETC Lank, I believe we're just going to change it to pull the pin Lank. So it should be a pretty easy find. Same with our Facebook. If you type in Golf Etc. Lancaster and it's no longer there, pull the pin, should pop up. Yeah, be sure to check us out.
We'll have all that stuff up for you next week on the screen. And follow me at TieBook3 or at PTP 2021. Haven't been quite as active on Twitter here lately because of baseball season. It wears me out. Look for a ton of stuff over the next 10 days, that's for sure, because I'm quarantined.
Oh, he's got a picture of the new sign, I think.
Nice. And last but not least, Scotty Scheffler.
Oh, man. Jason Day. Oh, no, not Jason Day. Tony Finau.
All right. I love it. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. We'll see you then.